Hey guys, Zach here for Fallout Nuka Break behind the scenes stuff. I'm again here with Ralis, our special effects supervisor. And on this video, we're going to talk about how we made replicas of our older props so they're stronger and better to use for 6 days instead of 2 days. In the original Nuka Break, the original fan film that we released in January of this year, I had my buddy Devin Parkman make us a tri-beam laser rifle from Fallout. Now he made this out of paper, cardboard, and hot glue. And it looks great. It worked perfect. The only thing it didn't really do was hold up well in the heat of the desert. And it started getting really flimsy, starting to fall apart. We actually had to wrap it with duct tape at one point, but it being Fallout, there was no problem with that. But we were going to use this one again, and I can't use this original prop in the desert for 6 days of filming. So I came to Ralis and I said, hey, how do we make this better?
And I took this.
And how do we do it?
Actually, this is an awesome piece of work. It's custom made, one of a kind. And the thing with one of a kind is that's all it is. Anything happens to it, anything breaks on it, you're SOL.
Yeah.
That's shit out of luck. So we wanted to make sure that you would have this prop to use. It would hold up to temperatures, hold up to running around, hold up to being dropped even. Stuff like that, and be able to make as many as you needed to, if you had to. Make duplicates, so this one of a kind can stay a collector's piece, which it is now. What we decided to do was break it apart, make molds of the specific individual pieces, and recreate those pieces in rubber, resin, different types of plastic, foam, and put it back together so that you had something that was a little stronger, more durable, and also now you have molds. So you can make as many of these as you want. Relatively.
Now, when we took it apart, we took it apart, back end, took apart the trigger, took apart the back middle, took off the front, and then we had the solid middle piece.
And we took the battery out.
And then we took the one battery that we have. We made a mold of that. Made a mold. Now let's show the molds, because we made the molds.
Cool, we'll talk about the molds. Obviously, we've got the back of the mold. I'm going to use some screwdrivers to pry these apart. These are kind of similar to a life cast in a way, and you'll see how.
Just like in last week's video.
Yeah. You'll see why, too. Is that they are silicone molds with a plaster or stone mother mold. These are actually flexible silicone, and then the back half is hard, like on a life cast. And then we can actually cast up the pieces in here. You'll also notice some silver powder residue. One thing that we did to make the paint job last longer or hold up to scuffs or anything like that is we actually used silver powder and dusted the inside of the whole mold before we cast it up.
Now we did this for, this is obviously the back end. So you can see it right there. Get that part. Now we did the back part. We have molds for every single part of this gun.
This is the back. We just did a silicone block mold. It's solid silicone in a Tupperware container for it to hold its shape. This is the front of the gun, and this was a test. We weren't even sure if that would work.
See? Got the front right there, but it's perfect.
Works perfect. And then we did the center section. We're going to pop that one open.
There's a trigger part.
Now you'll also notice these little dots on this line around here. Those are keys, so that the mold actually locks into itself. They're keys in the stone part of the mold as well as the silicone part. The ribbon key has two functions. Aside from it locking into itself, it also prevents excess material from flowing out past the silicone into the stone.
So that really seals it together.
Yes, it's really sealed. When we pour this up, there's nothing leaking out of here. And this is the big part.
This one is a pretty unique way we had to do that one. Because it's different levels. It has these tubes on the top, and this section down here that was down. It was very unique.
And intricate. Here we have silver powder and ready to cast another one if we need to. Let's talk about the different levels, because what had to be done to get into the two halves, it's actually very time consuming and intricate. Actually, clay, with Alan, actually laid up a clay dividing area, basically burying half of this gun in clay at a direct midline point. In fact, you can see where he divided it. I'm going to flip this around. You can see, actually, we'll flip that. It's backwards and weird.
Switch it there.
So you can see how he divided the midline right along the middle here. straight up through here where the trigger was, where you cut that off, and the section here, and right around to the front of this block, and half that first tube.
Yeah.
Now he had to painstakingly smooth that out so it was exactly flat and at an exact 90-degree angle, and that was very important to get good seams.
Yeah. But then once that was done,
you mold it in silicone, then sew, flip it over, peel away the clay, and the other side's ready to go because the silicone creates the midline.
and then it's all just one giant piece.
And you cast it up. Now we cast them up out of different materials.
Yes.
We also made a small detail mold for detail parts.
Yeah, it's got which is now broken because it was just paper.
It was just paper, yeah.
At the bell down here, the trigger which is now gone too.
Yeah, but we actually have another trigger that we made out of this mold, and we have the new chain, which we're going to replace, and even this little detail part here for the battery we've already replaced.
Exactly, yeah.
With plastic parts. And then we even have a mold of the battery. It's a silicone mold in a plastic cup.
And that was jammed in there, you popped it out, and you pulled it away.
Yeah, and it's ready.
All right, and then with all of this, we were able to take this gun, which is actually really light and, still somewhat flimsy. We've already reinforced it when we put it back together.
Yeah, we put a couple metal bars in there.
Yeah, but we get a fancy new one that's heavier and stronger. And this thing can be dropped. It can be, you can hit someone with it. Well, you can hit someone with that one. But, and also when it comes to it, we were able to repaint it.
Yes.
We were able to do a lot more. There's obviously a lot more detail in this one. Let me flip it around. And then with the molds, we were able to make
multiple batteries.
More batteries.
Right.
And now they're all magnetized too, so they fit perfect in there too and won't fall out.
And I got to commend you on the paint job. You did a great job.
Thank you. I'm very happy with this one.
Yeah. And the best thing for me about this is not the fact that, it is a plastic gun. I'm going to go over some of the components. Mm-hmm. One thing that you talked about with Tybee is that even though this is a gun from the game, it's not really practical. She had complained about
holding this one right here.
Yeah.
It hurt right here because the way it's made, it's just two things here. Devin did a great job. He did one for one from the game, so I can't fault him for it.
So it's the game, the design,
the developers.
Right. Yeah. So you have a suggestion.
Yeah, to make this flexible.
Right.
And it is.
Yeah. So
see that?
That won't dig in anymore. And the cool thing is this is a prototype and a test.
Yeah.
It worked out well because what we did is we poured a flexible self-skinning foam into this mold, slush it around, and then set it up on its end like this. That way, only this section is flexible foam, and then we fill the rest with a rigid urethane resin.
So this is flexible on this side, and this side, it's hard. Well, I guess.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. And then we do the same. You've got the original Pip-Boy that I used, which is a resin cast that I bought from somebody. And with that, we did more, and we have new Pip-Boys, which are totally flexible. And I won't have to worry about them popping off on set anymore, because now, my wrist will be able to bend. The wonders of mold making.
Yeah, well, it's a great material. It looks rigid.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that's flexible looking at it. It's a great thing. And like I said, the best thing that I like about these and doing these isn't the fact that, it is a little heavier, so it's got some gun head. It is a harder plastic.
Yeah.
The center section, so it didn't get too heavy, we skinned with the plastic and then we filled with a rigid urethane foam.
Yeah.
But what I like about this is we have these molds. So if something happens, if Zach's out on set, and let's say, God forbid, Tybee throws this gun off a cliff and it breaks into a million pieces,
You should be fine.
yeah, well,
She would be fine.
but you can call me and say, hey, Ralis, we need another gun.
Exactly.
And we can cast up all the parts for another gun.
Exactly.
So it can be done.
It would cost a lot of money.
Yeah, but you can do that.
Exactly. It can be done, which is
Can
great.
be done. And in a quick, try to put one together. How long did it take, Alan? We won't talk about
3
that.
months. That's it for this second Awesome Directors video for Fallout Nuka Break. But again, there's going to be plenty more behind the scenes videos for Nuka Break as we get to shooting and start airing the episodes.
I wonder if this thing works.
Probably not. Does it work? There was nothing there. Why did you jump back?
Oh,
All right, bye.